Have you ever met someone who just gets what they want every single time? They walk into a room and people listen. They ask for something and people say yes. They never beg, never force, never even raise their voice. And you're sitting there thinking, how on earth do they do that? Well, what if I told you it's not luck, it's not charm, it's not some magical personality they were born with? It's psychology, specifically dark psychology. And today, I'm going to walk you through 7 real science-backed tricks that quietly influence the people around you. These are used by FBI negotiators, top salespeople, politicians, therapists, and yes, manipulators too. So stay with me, because after this video, you will never see people or conversations the same way again. And I promise you, by trick number 6, your jaw is going to drop, so don't skip ahead. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is where we break down the human mind in ways that actually make sense in real life. And before we dive in, I want to be real with you. These techniques are powerful, and I'm sharing them so you can protect yourself from people who already use them on you, and yes, so you can ethically influence the people in your life. Not to manipulate or harm anyone, just to communicate smarter. All right, with that said, let's start with trick number 1, which honestly catches people completely off guard every time I mention it. Trick number 1 is called the silent pause, and the concept is simple but devastating. Silence is the loudest weapon you will ever use. Here's what most people don't know. When you stop talking in the middle of a conversation, the other person gets deeply uncomfortable almost immediately, and uncomfortable people fill that silence, usually with the truth. Therapists know this. Detectives know this. The best negotiators in the world know this. And here's exactly how it plays out in real life. Someone makes an excuse, gives you a half answer, or tells you something that doesn't quite add up. And instead of responding or pushing back, you just look at them, calm, quiet, totally unbothered, no reaction at all. And within 5 to 10 seconds, watch what happens. They start talking again, adding details they didn't mention before, explaining themselves, sometimes completely changing their story. And the reason this works is because the human brain is wired to find silence in social situations deeply uncomfortable. It feels like judgment. It feels like disapproval. So people rush to fill it, and in that rush, they reveal far more than they planned to. The trick is to never rush to speak. Ask your question. Then just wait. Let the silence do the heavy lifting for you. Try this in your very next conversation, and you'll be blown away by what people volunteer when you simply give them nothing to react to. Now, trick number 2 is going to sound completely backwards when I first say it, but just stay with me because the science behind this is absolutely wild. It's called the Benjamin Franklin effect. And the idea is this. If you want someone to like you, don't do them a favor, ask them for one. I know that sounds counterintuitive, so let me explain where this comes from. Benjamin Franklin, yes, the founding father, had a political enemy, a man who genuinely disliked him, and instead of trying to win him over with gifts or flattery, Franklin asked to borrow a rare book from this man. The man lent the book, and after that interaction, he became one of Franklin's closest and most loyal friends. And the reason this works comes down to something called cognitive dissonance. Our brains absolutely hate contradiction. So if I do something nice for you, my brain thinks, wait a second. I just helped this person. I must actually like them. And the feeling literally follows the action. The request rewires the relationship. So the next time you want someone on your side, don't bend over backwards to impress them. Ask them for something small, something easy, and low effort. Hey, can you help me with this? Real quick. That tiny request plants a seed in their brain that says, I helped this person, which means I must like this person. And just like that, the dynamic shifts in your favor. Moving on to trick number 3, which is one of the most widely used psychological tools in business, negotiation, and sales. It's called anchoring. And the concept is this. The very first number that gets mentioned in any conversation becomes the mental ruler that everything else is measured against. And here's how this plays out in real life. If a car dealer tells you this car is normally priced at $50,000 and then offers it to you for $38,000, you feel like you're getting a deal, even if $38,000 is still overpriced because your brain latched onto $50,000 as the anchor and everything after that looks smaller by comparison. And you can use this exact principle in everyday conversations. If you want to suggest a meeting time instead of asking, when are you free? You say, would Thursday at 2 work or would Friday morning be better? You've already anchored the conversation around your schedule, and now they're choosing between your options, not creating their own, and in any kind of negotiation, always go first with a strong number, high if you're selling, low if you're buying, and let them counter from there, because the person who sets the anchor first controls the entire frame of the conversation. Trick number 4 is called mirroring, and this one is subtle, almost invisible, but it might be the most powerful relationship building tool in this entire video. The concept is simple. People trust people who feel like them, and mirroring means reflecting back someone's words, tone, and body language so that they unconsciously feel understood. And when people feel understood, they open up. They trust you, they like you, and here's the dead simple version of how to do this in any conversation. Someone says to you, "I'm just really stressed about this whole situation." And instead of jumping in with advice or trying to fix it, you just say "stressed about the situation" with a calm and slightly curious tone. That's literally it. Just repeat their last 2 or 3 words back as a gentle question and watch what happens. They keep talking, they go deeper, they feel heard, and they walk away from that conversation, feeling genuinely connected to you even if you said very little. FBI. Crisis negotiators use this technique to build trust with people in the most high-stakes situations imaginable. Therapists use it every single day. Top salespeople use it to close deals worth millions. And the core rule is mirror their words, match their energy, move at their pace, and watch how fast people begin to trust you almost without knowing why. All right, we are officially halfway through, and I need you to hear me when I say this. Tricks 5, 6, and 7 are where things get really, really interesting, especially number 6. That one is going to completely change how you look at every conversation you've ever had, so do not tap out now, let's keep going. Trick number 5 is the scarcity principle, and it is everywhere. Once you know how to spot it, the idea is that people want what they think they can't easily have. When something feels rare, it feels more valuable. When something feels limited, people desire it more intensely. And this isn't just a marketing trick. Amazon does it with only 3 left in stock. Dating apps do it with your match expires in 24 hours. Restaurants do it with limited time only. But here's how you apply this principle to your own life in a totally natural and authentic way. Stop being so available, because when you're always there, always responding within seconds, always saying yes, always clearing your schedule for people, you become expected. And expected things have no perceived value, but when you occasionally and genuinely say, "I am pretty slammed this week, let me see if I can carve out some time," suddenly your time and your presence feel valuable and worth earning. This isn't about playing games or being fake. It's about understanding that perceived scarcity creates perceived value. Don't hand people everything all the time. Leave a little space, a little mystery. Pull back slightly and pay attention to how the energy shifts around you. Now, trick number 6 is the one I promised you, and it is genuinely mind-bending. It's called priming, and the idea is that you can plant an idea or an emotion in someone's mind without them having any awareness that it's happening. And here's the experiment that proved this beyond any doubt. Researchers had people hold either a warm cup of coffee or a cold drink before meeting a stranger. And the people who held the warm cup rated that stranger as warmer, more friendly, and more trustworthy, while the people who held the cold drink rated the exact same stranger as cold and distant. They had no idea the cup was influencing their judgment, but it absolutely was. And you can use this principle deliberately and ethically in your own conversations. If you need to ask someone for something important, prime them first. Make them laugh, share some genuinely good news with them, give them a sincere and specific compliment, get them into a positive emotional state before you even get to your request, because their brain is now flooded with good feelings, and that emotional warmth transfers directly onto how they feel about you and what you're asking. Or if you're heading into a tough conversation, suggest meeting at a place they love, somewhere comfortable and familiar to them, because the environment shapes the emotion and the emotion shapes the decision. You're not controlling anyone. You're simply being smart about the context you create. And trick number 7, this one might be the most deceptively simple thing in this entire video, and yet it is backed by some of the most striking research in social psychology. It's called the power of because. And here's the study that proved it. Psychologist Ellen Langer sent people to ask to cut in line at a copy machine, and she tested 3 different versions of the same request. Version 1 was simply, "Excuse me, can I use the copy machine?" As 60% of people said yes. Version 2 was, "Excuse me, can I use the copy machine because I'm in a rush?" 94% said yes. And version 3, and this is the wild part, was, "Excuse me, can I use the copy machine because I need to make some copies?" That's not even a real reason. That's just restating the request. And 93% of people still said yes, because the word "because" triggered automatic compliance, regardless of how strong the reason actually was. Our brains are wired to accept reasons, even weak ones, because we are social creatures trained from childhood to respond to logic and justification. So from this point forward, anytime you make a request of anyone, add a "because." Can you help me with this because I'm working against a tight deadline? Can we push the meeting earlier because I have something important coming up after? The "because" doesn't need to be dramatic or elaborate. It just needs to exist, and the difference it makes is genuinely shocking. And as a bonus, because you made it this far, here's one more that takes about 5 seconds to use and works almost every single time. It's called the nod and they'll agree technique. And the way it works is simple. While you're talking to someone and making a point that you want them to agree with, slowly and naturally start nodding your head. Nodding is a universal social cue for yes, and it is deeply contagious. Within just a few seconds, the other person will begin nodding back. And once their body says yes, their mind almost always follows. This is the mirroring response combined with nonverbal priming, working together at the same time. Use it gently, use it honestly, but absolutely use it. So let's bring it all together real quick. Trick 1, the silent pause. Let silence pressure people into revealing the truth. Trick 2, the Benjamin Franklin effect. Ask for a small favor to make someone like you. Trick 3, anchoring. Always set the first number and control the frame. Trick 4, mirroring. Reflect people's words back to build instant deep trust. Trick 5, scarcity. Be less available and watch your value go up. Trick 6, priming. Set the emotional environment before you make your ask. Trick 7, the power of because. Always give a reason, even a simple one. And these aren't tricks designed to hurt people or take advantage of anyone. They are tools for understanding how the human mind actually works, for communicating more effectively, for protecting yourself from people who are already using these things on you every single day without you even realizing it. Knowledge is power, but only when you use it with intention and integrity. If this video gave you something real, hit that like button because it genuinely helps this channel grow more than most people realize. And if you want more content that goes this deep into the human mind, go ahead and subscribe because next week we are going into body language and how to read what people are really thinking, even when their words say something completely different. And trust me, that one is going to blow this one out of the water. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 7 tricks you're going to try first. I read every single one. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.